So when you're doing these, maybe you don't know this, but like stunt driving, you're doing these things with like modern cars.
Sure.
Are you disabling some of these features to get the things that you want to do? Like, because I could imagine, like I did something with an R8 and it was like they wanted it to do this thing and it just like wouldn't fucking do it.
What did they want it to do?
They wanted to kind of go like sideways on the thing, and it's like
it's all-wheel drive.
will force you to not do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all-wheel drive, right? So the front wheels are also powered. So like overpowering with the rear to overstep the front, it's like, well, then it's got traction systems. Oh, I turned the traction control off. It's like, no. You turned off as much as they would let you turn off.
Exactly.
So you got a little wheel chirp, but it's protecting you. It doesn't want itself to crash. So what do? It's like, well, you can pull out the wheel speed sensor so it doesn't know how fast the wheels are going. Okay, you can pull out the ABS fuses and things, and so maybe you can slide the car. It's like, okay, you can add a handbrake to the rear. It's like, okay, but am I going to limp mode? Limp mode is like, I know something's wrong. I don't know why it's wrong, but the car is broken. Therefore, you can only drive 15 miles an hour. Like some cars will do that. So you have to get in, you have to tune them. You have some software guy go in there and tweak some stuff, but that's car dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can slide a Mustang, but like, can you slide example I guess would be an like an Expedition? It's like maybe not.
Yeah.
And a lot of these cars have like little like parking brake finger buttons now, so they don't even have like hand or foot brakes.
Electronic.
So if you show up on set and you're like, this car is not prepped, so I just have a regular ass car. The answer is probably like, you probably cannot get it to slide. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take this car that you rented off of fucking Turo and put a handbrake in it? It's like, no, you're not. It's like, so you have to understand like what's the action that you're trying to get. It's like, you can probably get any car to kind of do a reverse 180, but you can't get every car to do a 90.
Yeah.
I have a daily drive an Audi A3. It's a cute little thing. It's basically a Volkswagen. It's not an Audi. And a little finger parking button. It's like, in the dirt, I can get it to kind of rotate, but like with expertise. Not like I can't get it to. I can't just like rip a thing. Like, it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just wants to go straight.
Is that part of like when they call you and they ask you to do something? Is like one of the first questions you ask, what car?
Okay, so are we talking about me in front of the camera?
Well, if you're stunt coordinating it or something, they want, or like know, it's a car commercial or anything like that. It's like, how involved are you with like do you even care what they want that car to do, or is that beyond the scope of your job and you figure it out when you get there?
Okay. Well, if I'm coordinating the commercial, then yes, I want to know. Say I'm not coordinating the commercial, I still want to know, because I'm still going to be the guy fucking talking to this driver who's doing stuff. But if I'm the performer and they ask like, hey, you want to drive on Tuesday? Like, you generally just say yes if you think you're capable, but like, it's on them if they want to give you that sort of information. So let's just say it's a car commercial and they go like, we're doing the Chevy Equinox. And you go, great. It's like, I know they don't want that car to do anything. Right. They don't want, like, it's a fucking Equinox.
Yeah, just family driving.
But what if it's, like here's, like, I'll find a weird one to answer that question. The Mustang Mach-E, the electric Ford. You might be like, okay, it's still sort of a sporty car. Maybe they want us to slide it. It's like, well, it's fucking electric. I'm not getting in there and pulling shit. Like, I don't know. Right. If it matters to Ford, if they're like intimately involved with it, they might have an engineer on site to do something. If it's a big enough ad, they might have somebody modify that car if it's a prototype and they're just going to literally destroy it after, the year's done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they can put a handbrake in it and you can force it to slide. Every car's different. Every situation's different. It's not, I don't really have like an answer for that. But to that question, it's like, yeah, sometimes it won't go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you did all the things right. To my example about the BMW on that movie, it's like sometimes it just doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Because like you did all the things that you had to do, you pulled the fuse, but something else is not relaying. It's like, oh, maybe it's the sensor here or something. It's like, how much time do you really have to play with it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like you had someone maybe on your team that was skilled in like flashing like the computers of the. That's like a whole different. Well, because you were saying you were
cars usually
you're into like performance car racing, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, so it's like,
What if you kill the car?
Yeah, I mean,
Mike doesn't care. He's behind the camera.
I totally hear it, but I'm also like, what is it? Is it a 50-50? Like, or is it like a 90-10? You know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, the run-of-the-mill stuff, like, you're not really doing, you're just accelerating away, you're stopping on a mark, you know, they're really not trying to break traction a lot. And then when they want to, usually they want to break all the traction.
Yeah.
You're shooting out in, you know, loose surface. That's great. It's like every car will throw some dirt and loose surface. So it's like everybody looks like a hero there. So that's kind of cool. But like getting the car to rotate the way you want it, it's like, well, if I'm working that job, I might be like, well, let me hire somebody who knows how to really drive in the dirt and who maybe has experience driving big SUVs in the dirt, and like, you know, you have to kind of move that body around a little bit, or this one's got a transverse engine and it's front wheel drive biased. It's like, well, getting that car to flick is different than, you know, a car that you can lock into rear wheel drive, or like maybe has a rear drive bias. Like, so they're gonna perform differently, they're gonna act differently. So you get somebody who knows how to fucking drive it.
Yeah.
It's like the best you can do is like you have the best minds and the best gear that they'll give you, and you do the best you can within reason.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I just love when I see commercials where it's like a car that shouldn't be doing like, you know, slides and burnouts. It's just like a Corolla or something like that, and it's just fucking ripping.
You can slide a Corolla.
No, I know, but like that's not
Well,
a
who's
car
going to?
I've slid a Corolla.
Or like a minivan.
That's like you having fun on the weekend. Some random, like a dad, like a 45-year-old dad of 3 isn't going out.
You know, like Paul, it's like pulling out of a supermarket. It's just fucking like burning out.
That's when car commercials were great.
I fucking loved commercials. I remember there was like a minivan commercial where it was like basically they were like racing the minivan. It was like, yeah.
I mean, there's those new ones now that it's like they're basically filming an action movie, and they're like, but it's not an action movie. This is a car commercial.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
There's like 2 or 3 of them. I forget what brand
it
it is, but it's like they're just like they're filming a car chase scene, and then they're like, but it's not a car chase. It's like it's a car commercial.
I think the legal side of advertisement has, you know, these car manufacturers, they have to deal with so much like, oh, well, you can't show people doing this or doing that, or it can't has to be on a closed course and all this. It's like they probably just don't want to show the cars in that light very often.
They've also like killed all the comedy out of most
comedies. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
like there's no ads today that are like comedic.
Super Bowl's coming up.
That's the only way that comedy gets infused is during the Super Bowl. There's no like.
I mean, Super Bowl happened.
Ads. I mean, I have a bunch of ideas for comedic car ads. Give it to me.